Welcome to the eMedica AKT Pass Guarantee orientation for the 150-day program for the April 2022 exam. So what we're going to do is this is really a chance for you to meet our team, get a clear idea how does the Pass Guarantee program work, how to submit your daily and weekly tasks throughout the whole program, and then really a chance for you to ask any questions that you've got. Okay, we found that doing this before we start means that you can hit the ground running on day one. So use the chat as you've been doing for comments and discussion. If you've got a question that you'd like myself or the rest of the team to answer, please use the Q&A to ask questions so we can make sure that they're all cleared. Okay, so see the Q&A looks like this, the chat looks like this. So really want to say a huge welcome to the program. Thank you for putting your trust in our team. And I remind you of this. For those of you that already have received your welcome box, you will have seen this. For those that signed up recently, you will get your welcome pack soon. Okay, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Very famous saying from Lao Tzu, and it can seem like that, can't it? When you think about how big the curriculum is for AKT, how much work it seems like a mountain to climb, and it can be a bit overwhelming. And you've taken a big first step by joining something that allows you to not worry about planning. We've done all of that for you. It's structured. We're going to cover everything that you need. All you need to do is be consistent and focus on doing your work. So, we're here. When you get your first email, just focus on that email and doing that work. And don't worry about what else there is to do. The next day, just focus on that bit, one step at a time. Over 150 days, you're going to look back, you're at the top of the mountain. You don't know where it's come from, but you've suddenly covered it. You've developed great technique. You're ready for that exam. Okay. So let me introduce you to the team. So for anyone that hasn't met me before, my name is Muhibur Rahman. I'm a portfolio GP and the medical director of eMedica. I did my own GP training in the Neath Port Talbot scheme in South Wales and got my MRC GP with merit back in 2007. And then I was awarded FRC GP in 2019, primarily for my work in medical education and humanitarian medicine and promoting GP careers. I'm one of the authors of the National Prescribing Safety Assessment, but I've also written various books, articles, and revision resources for MRCGP, AKT, CSA, and RCA. I was an examiner and invigilator for the GMC for the PLAB OSCE exam between 2017 and 2020, and continue to examine OSCEs for Liverpool Medical School. Okay, so I think I've met or talked to or connected with a lot of people at some point, either through the Facebook group or one of our other courses or something maybe with your deanery. But anyone that hasn't, welcome and thank you for joining the program. So let me introduce you to the rest of the team. So Anna, if you want to turn your camera on, let me put it so panelists can, if you want to turn your camera on. And Anna is part of the eMedica e-learning team. She's the admin for the PGP WhatsApp group. So just before we start the program, you'll get an email with a link to join the WhatsApp group for your cohort only. And Anna will often be in there alongside Kennedy to offer support. The main avenue for support, though, should be via the office through info@emedica.co.uk, our main email. Okay, but Anna's also part of the faculty for all of the courses and webinars. So Anna might say something.
Hi guys. Seeing a few familiar names, so it's nice to see you again. And for those of you that are unfamiliar names, it's very nice to meet you. I'm looking forward to working with you. Looking forward to seeing you really make a lot of progress as you're in your learning. It's a really intensive program, so be prepared to to get organised and to really commit. But I do promise you, it's also a really effective program as well. And however hard you feel like, how hard it feels, keep on going, because you will reap the rewards. As Dr. Rahman says, prepare and you will succeed. So looking forward to working with you.
Thanks so much, Anna. Okay, and then I'm going to introduce Masuda Rahman. Masuda is Director of E-Learning at eMedica. She's also faculty and a panelist for all of the courses and the webinars throughout the AKT PGP program. She's one of our senior members of the team and has been with us for over a decade. So Masuda has helped to develop a lot of the content, oversees our authors for the questions and edits and things like that. So again, Masuda's going to say hello.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to meet you all kind of on the as text names. You're going to see a lot of me as a text name answering your questions on the courses and the webinars as we go through the program. I just want to say just welcome, and we're here for you. We're kind of emotionally, you'll be surprised how well you get to know us and how well we get to know you. We're here all the way through, right from today to the start of the program, all the way through to when you're waiting for your results. We're all sort of waiting on the edge of our seats with you. If there is anything you need, just email us. We're always here.
Thank you so much, Msida. And then I introduce you now to Dr. Kennedy Umej, who is our eMedicare AKT mentor. So one of the things that's been really valuable is to have Kennedy join our team, because he's been through exactly what you're going to go through. He went through this exact same program, the PGP program. He scored 95% overall in AKT, one of the highest scores ever recorded, not just in his cohort, but ever. And he will offer support primarily through the WhatsApp group on the PGP. Okay, so Kennedy, do you want to say hello?
Hello. Well, it is good that you've joined this program. Like you said, I was once like you in your position at the moment, and you just take each day as it comes. And like he said, the planning has been done for you. The exam is not difficult to pass. It just means that you have to apply yourself to the learning, the process, everyday's task. Just make sure you go through your tasks regularly. And if you are not clear about anything, don't be shy to ask questions. I'm going to be in the WhatsApp forum providing support. Practically, you're going to be supporting yourselves in that forum. Most people bring up questions, things they don't understand, and your colleagues will sort it out. But then if it's getting a bit difficult and then you want to task me to sort that out, I do come in to sort out issues. Some people also feel shy communicating on the WhatsApp forum, and then they message me directly. I do respond. What I want to assure you is that we're going to provide you necessary support you need to excel in this exam, and we'll be there with you all the way through.
Thank you very much, Kennedy. Nice to see you. Busy at work, I can see. I'm sorry we missed you at the dinner. You must come to the next one.
Yeah,
nice
definitely.
Thanks very much, Kennedy. Okay, great. And in terms of the rest of the team, you may already have got emails or will get emails at various points from other members of the team. So Selina Begum is our general manager, Tuba Jamil, Jubaita Khatun, Rabia Hussein. These are our core members of the eMedica team. So you'll often see when you've got queries, you send in an email, you're not sure about something, or if you phone the office, you'll often see that it'll be answered by someone else in the team, okay? So let me explain how the 150-day pass guarantee program works, okay? So the content in this program and the content in the 90-day program are exactly the same. So there's about 225 hours of learning. The main difference with this is that the first 120 days, so the first 4 months, you're going to get an email every other day. And within that email, there will be a set of daily tasks, reading, questions, links to follow, things to do. And then every week, there's also a weekly task that you need to complete by the end of the week. So in that first 4 months, it's slightly less intense. So what it means is, if you get an email, for example, the first email is going to come to you on Sunday. So the next email won't be on Monday, it'll be on Tuesday. So between that email on Sunday morning and the email hitting your inbox on Tuesday, you've got to get all of the daily tasks done. So what it means is you can spread it out. And, people that have got a busy rota or got, busy responsibilities at home, like I've got 3 young kids, if I was going to join a program like this, I would join the 150-day program, because I wouldn't be able to every day do the amount that you'd need to do in the 90-day program. So, you might do some of the work on the first day and spread out some of it the second day, for example. So the last 30 days, though, the last month, you've got to up the intensity. So you'll get an email every single day. So the amount of work you're going to have to do is going to increase. But often it's difficult to sustain that level. You couldn't sustain that level of intensity for 5 months. Okay. So every time that you get an email, so remember, it's every other day for the first 120 days, then every day for the last 30 days. But within that email, there will be a question of the day. You answer the question, read the explanation, and then there'll be associated reading. Follow the links, do the reading. There'll be a set of online revision questions. Again, answer the questions, read the explanations. Things that you get right, it might be enough to read that explanation. Things that you get wrong, you might read a little bit more detail, read the guideline. We'll also send you links of reading that we want you to do. So prior to doing certain questions, we'll send you reading to do from the Oxford Handbook of General Practice. But then sometimes we'll send you links to NICE CKS or other national published guidance. The weekly tasks, there will be various learning exercises, videos to watch, online revision questions that are maybe sometimes from a different question bank, like RCGP self-test, RCGP knowledge challenges. And the reason that we have different sources and different ways of learning is that it helps your long-term retention to be exposed to different ways of learning. You know, people have different things that they prefer, but also by being exposed to more than one question bank. And of the other banks, the RCGP self-test is the one that's probably closest to the real exam. And so it's a good secondary source. Okay, so I'm going to actually show you how it works. Before I do, you must have, to do the reading, the Oxford Handbook of General Practice, 5th edition. Some of you maybe, already had the 4th edition. That's so out of date. You'll actually learn things that are wrong and then have to unlearn them, okay? Even the 5th edition, there's a few things that are already out of date, but it's okay. We'll cover the latest things either through the case cards or, at the courses and webinars. But the 5th edition is really, really key. If you don't already have it, I'm just going to type it into the chat, okay? There's the link. You can get it from Amazon. Usually you can get it, delivered next day. So just click that link and you should be able to, buy a version to get it. Yeah, it's in stock. So you should be able to get it delivered next day, okay? They do have a Kindle edition. Some people might prefer that, but a lot of people like the paper version because you can highlight things, you can add notes and things like that, okay? So I know a lot of you will already have this because when you go into general practice, this is like a core text. So a lot of people will buy this, when they were ST1 or at the beginning of ST2. You probably got it. If you haven't though, or if you've got, maybe you had the older version, you must get the 5th edition, okay? So that's there. And then one of the things that we recommend that you do is try to enjoy the little wins. Track your progress. It can be satisfying to tick things off. So again, those of you that have got your welcome pack, you've already got these. Those that have just joined recently, you will get it. It's going to take a couple of days for it to get to you. But within that, for example, you've got your daily progress tracker. So as part of the program, you're going to get 90 emails because remember, the first 4 months, you'll get one every other day. So when you finish all of the work and you've submitted your task, tick it off, physically tick it off on there. Stick this on your notice board because then, can you see, like when you get to the bottom of this, you're like, I'm a quarter of the way there. When you get here, you're like, I'm halfway now. When you get here, nearly at the last bit. Then, here, you're in the last month and then you're at the exam. Similarly, there'll be this booklet, the curriculum checklist booklet. There's about 600 different boxes to tick off. So when you finish reading a topic or you've done a set of questions on a topic, find it. There's a clinical section, there's a stats section, there's an admin section. Tick it off because what you'll see is at the beginning, it's all blank, right? There's like a whole load of boxes. This isn't all of it. There's loads more pages, okay? But when you get to the end of the program and you look back in the last couple of weeks, nearly everything's done. When you get to, like a couple of days before the exam, this whole thing is ticked off. It's hugely satisfying. And you look back and you'll realize the mountain of work. It gives you some confidence. I've covered all of the key topics in this curriculum checklist. I'm ready for this, okay? It's going to really, really give you that boost and motivation when you go into the exam, okay? So let me show you now how the emails work and how to submit your work, okay? So what will happen is I'll start with the day one email. Now the day one email's a little bit different because we happen to be starting because 150 days to the exam happens to fall on a Sunday. On weekends, you get more work because we expect you to do more work on weekends compared to weekdays, okay? So this is what the day one email looks like. Make it a bit smaller so you can all see it, okay? So what you'll see is that we'll tell you, work through your daily tasks and then submit your daily scores. And then the weekly task, this is for a whole week, okay? So for example, in the very first week, one of the things we ask you to do is to think about what are your weakest areas, 5 weakest areas, to write them down. And then over the period of that first week, create a topic review for these so that you're already starting to tackle your weakest areas. And we'll send you some examples of what they look like. But, it could be a mind map. It could be a little PowerPoint, one page that you make to summarize it. It could be just handwritten notes. It could be, what is not acceptable is that you just copy and paste a nice guideline. You've got to think about it and make it concise and make your own notes. That's part of what's going to help you put it into long-term memory, okay? So essentially you work down the email, okay? So for example, that's the welcome exercise. So you're going to put in your registered email, make sure you use the same email all the way throughout, and you're going to list 5 areas. Now, make sure the areas are specific because you've got to be able to tackle these. Like you should be able to tackle one of these within a few hours. So it's no good, for example, putting the whole of ENT. You're not going to be able to tackle the whole of ENT, do you see? Whereas you might be able to tackle understanding audiograms, and then you might make a little summary about that, okay? Similarly, don't put the whole of stats, but it might be that you want to learn specifically how to deal with, I don't know, a forest plot that you could read up and learn. It needs to be specific, not generic, okay? There will be a link to this orientation video so you can watch it back after. So do you see on the weekend, there'll be 2 questions of the day. So you click the question, enter your email. So I'm going to put info@emedica because that's our email, just so that you see it. That's the email. If you've got any support issues, you can do that. And then you select an answer, okay? When you click next, it tells you if you've got it right or wrong. I've deliberately got that wrong, okay? And then after you've read this explanation, you click this link and you read the relevant guideline. And now you're starting to really understand the broader subject, okay? Do you see, that was the first one. The second one's about hypertension. So again, you're going to click that. You're going to do the same, put your email, answer, do the reading, okay? Do you see, you just work down. Then again, on the weekend, there's going to be 2 online revision. Remember, you've got, in the first 4 months, you've got 2 days to complete this. So, you know, you might do all of these and maybe one of these question sets on the first day, and then you might do some of this on the second day. You might do all of it in the first day so that on the second day you can relax, maybe do a bit of reading or something like that. And then on the case cards, so those of you again that have got the physical case cards, it'll tell you the number that you're going to be reading, number 1 and number 2. If you haven't got those yet because you've just recently signed up, so it hasn't been posted out to you, then, you know, as long as you log in, when you click that link, you can access the digital case card. So for example, the first day, you're going to read number 1 and number 2. And so they're numbered. So number 1 and number 2. Okay. Once you've done all of this, see, that's your daily tasks. Okay. Then you click confirm that your tasks are complete. Make sure you put in your name and the same email every time, please. Okay. As in your email, don't put in this one. And then which subjects did you do? So like, for example, on weekends, there might be 2. On weekdays, there's going to be usually 1. So let's say the online revision in this case was cardiovascular and eyes, okay? So you can see, I'm going to put here cardiovascular, and then what score did you get? Maybe you got 50%, okay? 50%. And then what was the second one? It was eyes, right? Okay, and what did you score? That maybe you scored 60%. By the way, especially at the beginning, but actually probably throughout the bulk of the program, don't worry if you don't score well on our questions. Our questions are really hard. They're harder than probably any other question bank. And that's because our questions are there as a learning tool. They're there for you to, if you get it wrong, read the explanation, and to stimulate you to want to learn a bit more and really understand the subject. So when you get to the real exam, in comparison, the questions seem easier to you. So how you score isn't that important. Don't worry if the scores are low. Don't worry if you get most of the questions of the day wrong throughout the program. They're really high challenge questions, again, to stimulate learning. You actually remember more those things you associate with something you got wrong than those things that you got right. And often if you get it right, you skim through the explanation, you haven't really learned it, because you may not get that same exact question. You may get a question about that topic from a different angle. So when you get it wrong, you really want to learn it properly. It sticks in your mind. So don't worry about that. But why is this important that you do your daily tasks? And some days we're going to ask you to do things from RCGP, in which case you can download a certificate that you can click here and actually attach that certificate as well. Okay. And if you've got any comments, you can put this in here. Once you've done that, you'll see this. Thank you for submitting. Once you see this, you know we've got your submission, we've got your scores. We will analyze all of the scores that you submit in the first 2/3 of the program. And this is going to be used to help us to develop a tailored program for each of you for the last 30 days. You know, when it goes to every day, all of you will have a different revision plan tailored to your weaknesses. There might be things that you don't like to read, but we've identified you're doing worse in this topic compared to other topics. We're going to make you do more of that. So some of you might get more neuro in that last month and more women's health and more ENT. Others might do really well in those, and they might get more renal or more pediatrics because they did less well on that. It's going to be tailored. So every single day that you get an email, remember, it's going to be every other day that you actually get the email, but you must complete it before the next email hits. So i.e. the first 4 months, you've got 48 hours to complete all of these and confirm your tasks. Okay, it's time-stamped when you do it. And then you've got your weekly task. So this, it'll give you the deadline here. So your deadline for your first weekly task is the 4th of December, 5 a.m. Again, once you've completed it and you go to submit, name, email, And these are going to be topic reviews. You're going to upload them. So you're going to make topic reviews about the first 3 of your 5 weakest areas. Then at the bottom of the email will be reading to do that's going to help you start preparing. So this reading from the Oxford Handbook of General Practice is topics that we're going to cover in the next couple of days of questions. So you're already doing some reading beforehand. So you see, this is the day 1 email. You will actually get an email before we start on day 1. The day 0 email will give you some reading to do to help you with these questions that you're going to do from cardiovascular 1 and eyes and vision 1. Okay, so essentially you just start at the top, work your way down, click every link, do the related work. Okay, and I'll just show you an example of a weekday email, because that's a weekend email. A weekend email, you get 2 sections of online revision and so on. Okay, but for example, here's day 2. Okay, so you'll get this 2 days later. Okay, so again, the structure is the same. Your weekly task is at the bottom, your daily task, again, just work your way through. So you can see there's going to be a question. You do the question, answer it, read the email, read the link. There'll be 1 set of online revision on weekdays. Okay, again, do the questions, then do the reading from the case card, then again, confirm your task. Remember, can see this is the day 2 email. It's going to get this on Tuesday. The deadline's still the same because you get a weekly task every week. Okay, again, do the reading to prepare for the next one. So essentially, all you need to do, start at the top of the email, work your way down, do everything, follow all the links, do the reading, do the questions, submit your scores, daily tasks within 48 hours for the first 4 months. Last 30 days, you've got to do it within 24 hours. And then the weekly tasks, you'll have the deadline, but basically you have a week for those. Okay, so that's how the program works. And then alongside all of that, we will have live webinars. So we'll have a total of 5 high-yield evening webinars, which are about an hour to an hour 15 each, 4 masterclass webinars, which are 3.5 hours each, 1 covering stats, 1 covering admin, 2 to cover high-yield clinical. Then we'll have 2 full-day courses, 1 in covering sort of all 3 domains, exam technique, and so on, and then 1 where we'll do like 200 questions made up of 4 50-question teaching mini-mocks, and you'll do that nearer towards the last part of the program, the last 30 days, okay? And so, there's a whole lot of live teaching, but there's daily learning, reading, online interactive things going on throughout. And then some of the weekly tasks will send you video workshops to watch, we'll send you other sort of exercises to do, okay? So there's a variety of learning methods. So that's how it works. Any questions, please ask in the Q&A, and myself and the team will try to answer those. And then we'll wrap up. We should be finished in about 5 minutes. Someone said that, will the online revision questions cover the question bank, or do we need to do those separate? We will cover all of our online questions, the eMedica ones, through the program. So you don't need to do any of those separately. We will cover a big chunk of the GP self-test questions as part of sometimes weekly tasks, sometimes part of your targeted revision, okay? Someone said, does the 150-day program allow you to go through all online question banks twice? So through the program, we'll only do things once, okay? But again, because you're not going to be sent an email every other day, if you've got a bit of spare time, you could always revise topics yourself. You could build that in. You've got that flexibility in that you've got more days, okay? Someone said, when will the program finish before the exam? The last webinar is the day before the exam, the evening before the exam. So this will take you all the way up to the exam, but we'll be in touch with you after, okay? So all the way from here, right up until you pass your exam and beyond, we'll be with you, okay? Someone said, the number of MCQs cover all AKT. So not just through questions. Remember, we're going to do over 3,000 questions. We'll do 4 mocks. We'll do lots of reading, learning, lots of live teaching. So throughout the 225 hours of learning that you're going to do, you will have covered all the key topics and developed your exam technique and covered your specific weaknesses, okay? Someone said, when will you get your first task email? So the day 1 of the program starts this Sunday, but the day 0 email, which will give you some reading to do before the day 1, you won't get any actual tasks until the day 1 email, which is Sunday, but the day 0 email will give you a link to join the WhatsApp group. We can't add you. Don't send us your number. We can't add anyone because of GDPR and data protection regulation. You add yourself if you want to through the link, okay? So that will come on day 0. Anna, will the day zero email go out on Saturday or Friday? Probably Saturday.
It'll go out on Saturday.
Yeah, so Saturday morning, by around 5 o'clock, the email hits, okay? So you'll get the day zero email, which will give you the link to the WhatsApp group. It will tell you some reading to start doing before day one. Then day one starts on Sunday, then it's every other day for the next 4 months, and then every day for the last month, okay? Someone's asked, will the webinar videos be available online for watching again? Yes, after every live session, we'll also send you the recording a couple of days later once it's processed, so that you can watch it back. And people do often find that helpful to revise certain topics again near the time of the exam. Okay. Someone's asked a question, when will the specific days? Okay, good question. So if you go to, when we first signed you up, we sent you a link to it. When you signed up, there was a link to it. But on our website, emedica.co.uk, can you see right on the homepage where there's AKT, right at the top, AKT Pass Guarantee Program. So all of the dates are here. So if you scroll down, all of the dates that you need are here. For the April program, can you see? Again, before we start, before Sunday, you need to complete the How to Pass the AKT webinar. That's the pre-course learning. Again, those of you that have just signed up, you've got another couple of days. Some of you signed up a long time ago, you've already done that. We are now here, the orientation webinar. Can you see? The next live session, High Yield Revision Webinar 1, will be Wednesday, the 15th of December, okay? And so on. The first full day course is the 12th of March. The other full day course is on the 26th of March. And again, if I just show you the email again, one of the things that you'll see at the bottom of each email, here's the email, you'll see a little calendar sign, and that tells you when is the next live session, okay? So you can see the next live session after this is going to be High Yield Revision Webinar 1, which is going to be on the 15th of December. So, you'll be a couple of weeks into the program. We'll see how you're getting into it. And then we're going to start doing some sort of high yield revision questions straight into it, okay? And then you'll see that once that's gone, this will change to the next live session. But you can get all of the dates. You can put them in your diary. They're all there. Someone said, will you get hard copies of the notes for the webinars? You will get a PDF version of the, the course booklet for the masterclass webinars and the full day courses the day before. So a lot of people do like to print it off, if they're pen and paper, but you'll get it as a PDF. So, you're welcome to print it off, and then you can annotate as you go. For the high yield revision webinars, you'll get the PDF after you've been to the webinar, okay? The ones that are, the hour ones, okay? Someone's asked something about other banks. I'll broaden it out. They've asked specifically about past medicine. So you don't need to do any other question banks. If you do everything in the program, then you will have covered more than enough material to pass the exam. If you have spare time, because you're on the 150-day program, and you want to do additional questions, by all means, expose yourself. Both past medicine and an examination are good banks, but you don't need to do anything additional, okay? And someone's asked, how many hours should they be spending? So each email on a weekday, there will be between an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of work to do. But remember, the first 4 months, you can spread that over 2 days. Each weekend email on the weekend would expect you to be doing double that. So, 3 to 4 hours, okay, each time you get an email. And then there's some days where on top of, your regular learning, remember that we might have something in the evening, an hour. We'll reduce how many questions you need to do on those days. There's days when we've got a full day course. We won't send you, apart from the question of the day, there won't be other questions to do online, because you will be doing 8 hours worth of learning with me or 7 hours worth of learning with me and the team anyway. So, we'll adjust for those things, okay? But yeah, about an hour and a half to 2 hours every weekday email, double that every weekend email, okay? And someone asked, will we get admin and stats questions before the actual lectures near the end? Yes, we will cover all domains in every taught session. So if you'll see every high yield revision webinar that we do, we'll do some stats, some admin, some clinical. Similarly, you'll get exposed to clinical questions, admin questions, stats questions, different exercises throughout the whole program, not just right at the end. It's important that you don't leave things like that right to the end. Okay. Someone said, if there's a link regarding dermatology, do we need to go through that? Yes, you need to go through every link and do the relevant reading. Okay. Follow the email, do the link. Similarly, in terms of weekly tasks, sometimes there might be recordings of workshops covering specific topics. So like we've got workshops covering dermatology, covering ENT, covering not dermatology, ENT, women's health, and so on, okay? A couple of people have asked, is it worth reading Medical Statistics Made Easy? Yeah, it's a good textbook. If you'd like to get a head start even before we start doing some questions, you could get that textbook. It's a good textbook. We will cover all of the eMedica question banks throughout the program. Don't do those separately. We'll be doing those through the program. Okay. And someone asked about the self-assessment for readiness of the, so we will do various assessments and mocks throughout the program, as well as the data from all of your daily tasks to help us develop your tailored program. Okay. Someone's asked, are they going to get the case cards and anything else in hard copy? So you'll get a hard copy of that curriculum checklist that I showed you. You've got this checklist to stick on your, that's a 1 page. This is a hard copy. You'll get the case cards as a hard copy. We currently sold out of case cards. The next print run will arrive next week. So there might be a slight delay in getting those to you, but you will get it. Until then, you've got access to the digital version. So you can still, you're not going to miss out on any learning. But a lot of people like to physically have those, they can do it on the train and so on. Okay. Great. Okay. Well, thank you very much, everyone. And I want to leave you then. We're coming to the end of it just to say a huge thank you for joining the program, putting your trust in our team. What's really, really important, it is really hard work, but passing the AKT is hard work. So what you've got to do is commit to the process. Okay. Don't worry about when will I cover this. We're going to cover it. We're going to save you the headache of worrying about and planning. We've taken care of that. All you need to do is focus on doing the work. We will do the designing of the program, making sure that you're going to cover things at different stages and, cover all the key topics, develop your technique. What you need to do is commit to do the work. So do the daily tasks on time. Consistency is really, really important. Make sure you get your weekly tasks in on time. Make sure that you do the relevant reading as well. Make sure that you follow the links. All of this is going to contribute to your learning and, consolidate not just your knowledge, but your exam technique. So come the exam, you've not only got an awesome knowledge base that's going to help you every day with seeing patients, help you really be confident in the exam, help you be a better GP when you finish your training, but you've developed the exam techniques specific for the AKT and the different keywords and what are examiners looking for and how questions are framed and things like that. So that's going to really help you get there. So, keep up your work, keep pushing, be consistent, prepare, and you will succeed. And, welcome to the program. Really looking forward to working with you over the next 5 months, as is the whole eMedica team. So thank you so much. And I will see you all at the next live session in just 2.5 weeks or so. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.